Top 4 Sacagawea dollar coins can bring big money for collectors. The 2000 P Sacagawea dollar and 2000 P Sacagawea dollar mule are the most famous. Rare coins like the 2009 P Sacagawea dollar and 2014 D Sacagawea dollar with mint errors can be worth hundreds or thousands. Always check your coins carefully. Many people see these coins and spend them without a second thought, but collectors know that some of them can hide surprising value. Today we are talking about the 2009 P Sacagawea dollar, a coin that became very interesting to collectors because of its design change and the possibility of rare mint errors. If you have one of these coins at home, you might be holding hidden treasure without even realizing it. The story of this coin is very interesting. In 2009, the United States Mint started a brand new program called the Native American Dollar Coin Series. Even though the front of the coin still shows the famous Native American guide Sacagawea, the back design began changing every year to honor Native American history and contributions to the United States. The 2009 coin was the very first coin in this new series, which makes it special to collectors. The back of the 2009 Sacagawea dollar shows an important farming scene. It features a Native American woman planting seeds in a field, with corn, beans, and squash growing nearby. These crops were known as the Three Sisters, a traditional Native American farming method used for centuries. Because this was the first coin of the new Native American series, collectors paid close attention to it. Coins that begin a new design series often become important pieces in coin collections. At first glance, the 2009 P Sacagawea dollar may look like an ordinary golden coin worth just $1. Millions were produced and many people received them in change from banks or vending machines. But over time, collectors discovered that certain examples with unusual details or mint errors could sell for much higher prices. Some coins have sold for hundreds of dollars depending on their condition and the type of error they show. If you want to check your own coin, the first step is to look at the date. You should clearly see the year 2009 on the coin. Unlike earlier Sacagawea dollars, the date and mint mark are actually located on the edge of the coin instead of the front or back. This was a design change that began during this period. The small letter P on the edge tells you the coin was made in Philadelphia. The edge lettering also includes the words E pluribus unum and the year of minting. Because the date and mint mark are on the edge, some coins were struck incorrectly during the minting process. One of the most famous mistakes is called a missing edge lettering error. This happens when the coin passes through the machine that stamps the edge but the lettering is not applied properly. The result is a coin with a completely blank edge. These types of errors are exciting to collectors and can increase the coin's value significantly. Some examples with missing edge lettering have sold for hundreds of dollars. Another interesting error collectors look for is weak or doubled edge lettering. Sometimes the letters on the edge appear faint or partially doubled because the coin moved slightly during the stamping process. While these errors are not extremely rare, collectors still enjoy finding them, especially if the doubling is easy to see. Next, you should carefully examine the surface of the coin. The Sacagawea dollar has a golden appearance because it is made from a mixture of metals including copper, zinc, manganese, and nickel. Most coins will have a bright golden shine when they are new. However, unusual color tones or strange surfaces can sometimes indicate a minting problem. If your coin appears darker than normal or has unusual marks that do not look like damage, collectors may find it interesting. Another detail to examine is the rim of the coin. The rim should look smooth and even all the way around. If you notice the rim looks thicker on one side or slightly uneven, it could be a collar error. A collar error occurs when the coin is not perfectly held in place during the striking process. These types of errors can create unusual shapes or edge details that collectors enjoy adding to their collections. Collectors also check the design for doubling. Look closely at the letters, numbers, and images on the coin. If the details appear doubled or slightly blurry, the coin might have a double die error. This type of mistake happens when the coin design is impressed more than once slightly out of alignment. When the doubling is clear and strong, the coin may become very attractive to collectors. Condition is another very important factor when it comes to coin value. A coin that looks shiny, clean, and almost untouched can be worth much more than a worn coin that has scratches or damage. Professional grading companies examine coins carefully and give them grades that describe their condition. Coins with very high grades are often the most valuable because collectors want the best examples for their collections. Today many coin collectors across the United States still search for rare Sacagawea dollars. People check bank rolls, coin jars, and old collections hoping to find hidden treasure. Even modern coins can surprise collectors with unexpected errors and valuable varieties. Every year new discoveries appear, proving that valuable coins can still be hiding in everyday pocket change. So the next time you see a golden dollar coin, do not ignore it. Take a moment to look at the edge for the year 2009 and the small, P mint mark. Check the edge lettering carefully and examine the coin's surface and rim for unusual details. One small difference could turn an ordinary coin into something special. Many people see these coins and think they are only worth $1, but collectors know that some of them hide amazing value. Today we are talking about the 2000 P Sacagawea dollar, a coin that surprised the collecting world with rare errors and shocking prices. If you have one of these coins in your collection, jar, or wallet, you might be holding hidden treasure without even knowing it. The story of this coin begins in the year 2000 when the United States Mint decided to introduce a brand new dollar coin for everyday use. Earlier dollar coins were large and unpopular, so the Mint created a smaller golden coin that would be easier for people to carry. They chose to honor Sacagawea, the Native American woman who helped guide the famous Lewis and Clark expedition across the American West. Her portrait appears on the front of the coin with her young son on her back, representing strength, courage, and the spirit of exploration. When these coins first entered circulation, millions were produced and distributed across the country. Banks promoted them heavily and many people received them as change. At first, most collectors believed these coins would remain common. However, something unexpected happened during production. Several rare mint errors appeared, and these mistakes turned some of these coins into valuable collector items. Today, collectors continue searching through coin rolls and old collections hoping to discover one of these rare examples. One of the most famous discoveries involving this coin is the mule error. A mule error happens when two dies that were never meant to be used together accidentally strike a coin. In this case, a few Sacagawea dollars were struck using the reverse design of a different coin. When collectors discovered this mistake, it caused huge excitement in the coin collecting community. Some of these mule error coins later sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars. This incredible discovery proved that modern coins can still hide life-changing value. Now let's talk about how you can identify a valuable 2000 P Sacagawea dollar. The first thing you should check is the date. Look carefully at the front of the coin and make sure it clearly shows the year 2000. Coins from the first year of production are especially interesting to collectors because they often contain early minting errors and experimental strikes. Next, check the mint mark. The small letter P near the date shows that the coin was made at the Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins, but some of them show unusual details or rare mint errors. That tiny letter may not seem important, but it can help identify where the coin was produced and whether it belongs to a rare group of coins collectors are searching for. Now examine the color and surface of the coin. The Sacagawea dollar has a bright golden appearance because it is made from a special metal mixture that includes copper, zinc, manganese, and nickel. Most coins look shiny and golden when they are new. However, sometimes collectors notice coins with unusual colors, darker shades, or strange surfaces. These changes can happen if the metal mixture was slightly different or if the coin was struck under unusual conditions. Coins with strange color patterns sometimes attract attention from collectors looking for rare varieties. The next detail to check is the rim and edges of the coin. The rim should normally appear smooth and even all the way around. If you notice that the rim looks thicker on one side or uneven in certain places, the coin may have what collectors call a collar error. A collar error occurs when the coin is not held correctly during the striking process. This can create unusual edges or shapes, and collectors often pay good money for coins showing these mistakes. Another important feature to study is the lettering on the coin. Look closely at the numbers and words, especially the date and the inscriptions around the coin. If the letters appear doubled or slightly blurry, you might have a double die error. This happens when the design is stamped more than once slightly out of alignment. Strong doubling is easy to notice and can increase the coin's value dramatically. Some double die coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how clear the doubling appears. There is also the possibility of an off-center strike. This error happens when the blank coin is not perfectly centered between the dies during the minting process. When the coin is struck, part of the design appears shifted toward one side. The result is a coin where part of the surface is blank and the rest shows the design. Off-center coins are easy to recognize and collectors often enjoy adding them to their collections. Condition is another key factor that affects the value of a coin. A coin that looks clean, shiny, and almost untouched can be worth much more than a worn example. Professional grading companies examine coins and give them grades that describe their condition. Coins with high grades are more desirable to collectors and can sell for higher prices. Even a common coin can become valuable if it is preserved in nearly perfect condition. Today, collectors across the United States and even around the world continue searching for rare Sacagawea dollars. People check bank rolls. This golden-looking coin may appear ordinary, but certain versions with rare errors or special details have sold for hundreds, thousands, and sometimes even more. That means the coin sitting in your jar right now could hold life-changing value if you know what to look for. The story of this coin begins around the year 2000. The United States Mint wanted to introduce a new $1 coin that would actually circulate in everyday use. Previous dollar coins were large and heavy, and many people did not like carrying them. So the Mint created a smaller golden coin that would stand out from other coins. They chose to honor Sacagawea, the Native American woman who helped guide the Lewis and Clark expedition across the American West. Her image appears on the front of the coin holding her baby son. The design was meant to represent courage, history, and exploration. When the coin first appeared in 2000, millions were released into circulation. Banks promoted them, stores handed them out as change, and collectors quickly started saving them. At first most people thought these coins were common and only worth $1. But as time passed, collectors began discovering strange minting errors and unusual varieties. These discoveries turned some of these coins into exciting collector pieces worth far more than their face value. That is when people started realizing that a simple golden dollar might actually be hidden treasure. One of the most famous discoveries connected to this coin happened during its first year of production. Some coins were accidentally struck with a different reverse design that was supposed to be used for another dollar coin. These coins became known as the famous mule error. A mule error happens when two dies that were never supposed to be paired together strike the same coin. When collectors discovered these rare coins, the excitement in the coin collecting world exploded. Some of these coins later sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. That is the kind of life-changing value that keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins even today. Now let's talk about how you can check your own Sacagawea dollar coin. The first thing you should look at is the date. The earliest coins were made in the year 2000, and these are often the most interesting to collectors. Later years can also be valuable, but the 2000 coins are especially important because they were part of the first production run. If you see the year 2000 clearly printed on the coin, you already have a coin that collectors like to examine closely. The next step is to look for the mint mark. The mint mark tells you where the coin was made. Many Sacagawea dollars were struck in Philadelphia or Denver. The mint mark is usually a small letter near the date on the front of the coin. You might see a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver. Some collectors search for coins from specific mints because certain errors appeared more often in particular locations. That small letter might not seem important, but it can sometimes make a big difference in value. Now examine the color and surface of the coin. The Sacagawea dollar has a golden appearance because it is made from a special metal mixture that includes copper, zinc, manganese, and nickel. Most coins will have a smooth golden shine when they are new. However, unusual color patterns can sometimes signal an error. If a coin looks darker, brighter, or slightly different from normal coins, it might have been struck under unusual conditions at the mint. Collectors always pay close attention to coins that look different from the rest. Next, check the edges and rim of the coin. The rim should normally look even and round. If the rim looks thicker in some areas or slightly uneven, it might be a collar error. A collar error happens when the coin is not perfectly held in place while it is being struck. These mistakes can create unusual shapes or edge details. Coins with these types of mint errors can sometimes sell for hundreds of dollars depending on how dramatic the mistake is. Another thing to examine carefully is the lettering and numbers. Look closely at the date and the words around the coin. If the letters look doubled or blurry, the coin might have a double die error. This type of error happens when the coin design is impressed more than once slightly out of alignment. When the doubling is strong and easy to see, collectors become very interested. Some double die coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition. One more interesting possibility is the off-center strike error. This happens when the blank coin is not perfectly centered when the dies strike it. The result is a coin where the design appears shifted to one side. Part of the coin may appear blank while the rest shows the design. Off-center errors are easy to notice and collectors love them because they clearly show a mistake occurred during minting. Condition is another important factor when it comes to coin value. A coin that looks shiny and almost brand new can be worth much more than one that is scratched or worn down. Professional grading companies examine coins and assign them grades that describe their condition. Coins with high grades often sell for much higher prices because collectors want the best examples possible. That means a Sacagawea dollar that looks perfectly preserved could be far more valuable than an average coin. Today, collectors across the United States and even around the world continue searching for rare Sacagawea dollar coins. Many people check bank rolls, vending machine change, and old coin jars hoping to find a hidden treasure. Every year new discoveries appear, and some coins that once seemed ordinary suddenly become valuable because someone notices a rare feature or error. So the next time you see a golden dollar coin, do not ignore it. Take a closer look at the date, the mint mark, the color, and the rim. Check the letters carefully for doubling and watch for any unusual details. That small coin in your pocket might hold big money value waiting to be discovered.